know the Inphamus Amadeuz, the Punchline Academy, is the league of the elite MCs, and I have a Queensbridge legend who's been active in the left lane with no easy pass and a Hennessy nip in the glove compartment. His first record dropped in 1985. He has an amazing story. Craig G, welcome to the Punchline Academy, brother. What's up?
What's shaking?
And you are a fellow March baby like me. I'm born on March 9th.
Okay.
So that's something we got in common.
Yeah, my birthday is March 24th.
March 24th.
Don't contact me. I'm always on a boat. I take a cruise every year for my birthday.
Yeah. Shout out to that.
Yeah.
So your first record dropped, Shout, in 85, and you were 12 years old,
yes,
right?
Sir.
And talk about that, because I've spoken to a few people who have had success as a child. What's my man from Soul For Real, Jace, right? He's a perfect example of someone who had huge success as a child, and you were coming up in a day where people were still trying to figure out what hip-hop was, right? And what did it mean to you to have success at that young age?
I'm glad you asked that, man, because, first, let's start with the song. Mm-hmm. So, if you know Shout by Tears for Fears, which is a great group, right? Mm-hmm. I did the rap version in 1985. I was in the 7th grade. Mm-hmm. I'm from Queensbridge, New York. Marley Marl lived in my building, and I would run around Queensbridge rapping. And so, whenever it was time for him to do a joint, he'd be like, yo, who's hot right now in the hood? And he came and got me. So, we did Shout Rap. I got $150 for the song. Mm. It was on Pop Art Records. Shout out to Philly. Mm. The Youngsters Pops, they own that label.
Really?
Yeah. And then they broke off, and it was Dana and Lawrence Goodman. Dana started another label, which was Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince first album. But anyway, so the interesting story about that song is we went to the studio. Marley had a studio on 12th Street in Queensbridge on Havoc's block. And I went in the studio and I rhymed straight for like 5 minutes. And MC Shan had to like pull me to the side and show me how to break down verses. That's why he's listed as a co-writer on that song.
Okay, because he assisted you with
helped
the structure.
Me. Yeah, he helped me and I just remember being in like junior high school, and it was on, like, Shout was such an urban song, like urban sounding song, though it was a pop hit. The black stations played it, and when they played it, they mixed it with mine. So I was on the radio like all day long. And it's crazy because you're a kid, and it's like you're hyped up. And then I did another single the next year called Transformers that flopped. Like it completely flopped. And I did not know how to deal with failing at that age.
Okay.
So it's crazy when you see a lot of younger dudes, whether it's in any medium of entertainment, and they've had success and then it slowed down. It's really hard, man. It's really hard. I literally went to therapy to understand that when you're successful at something at any point, you're never a failure. And that changed my whole outlook on everything.
Yeah, he was able to get through it.
Yeah.
So when we look back at hip hop, right, I heard Ice-T say one time that he got the concept of gangster rap from Schoolie D from Philly, right? But that's what he said, right? But when we look at this conversation of rap battles, and I look at you guys, Juice Crew, right? And you're 12, and you're thrown into a fire, right? You got Magic and Red Alert going crazy. The year before you drop, you got Roxanne, Shantae dumping on everybody. And then you got Shan throwing haymakers. Like, he's dissing everybody. He's dissing KRS-One. He's dissing LL. I think, did they diss Run DMC too as well?
Nah, no. I'll say this. He didn't diss KRS. He did diss LL.
Yeah.
He did diss LL. But he didn't diss KRS-One. KRS-One, and it's very documented, he says it all the time, that he knew that the song The Bridge was not saying hip hop started in the bridge, but it was his opportunity.
Opportunity too.
Now, rest in peace to Mr. Magic. Like this is the guy that when you're talking about being on the Rap Attack, I used to answer the phones on the show. I was like 14 years old. They paid me like $150 a week, which was great money in like 85. But KRS came up to the station, and Magic, again, rest in peace, I love him to death, he was a jerk. And he played them to the left. They made them wait outside for like 2 hours.
He spun them.
Yeah. And Chris went home, and that's when he made South Bronx. There's plenty of interviews documented where he said
talk
it.
About this, yeah.
He did what he had to do, and made a great song that countered it. But I was loyal. So I made Duck Alert.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is like there must have been some sort of like pressure or loyalty because you are coming into a hostile environment.
Yeah.
And we're young, right? We're running crazy. So you're automatically gun ho.
It wasn't pressure. It like in those days it was competition. Like I was like, yo, how y'all gonna diss my guy? Like Ballie was my dude. Like we lived in the same building. Y'all not gonna, and plus me knowing you had the story wrong, I had to talk about it. So again, like Duck Alert, we just like, it started out as a freestyle on the air on the Rap Attack. It was an Antoinette song. I don't know the name of it offhand. Remember Antoinette, who was dope? There was a scratch and Marley was scratching and I think she said Duck Alert the alarm. And he started scratching that and we was freestyling back and forth while he was doing the cuts. And he was like, yo, we got to go make this song Monday. And I think I left school and went to his crib. He lived in Astoria at this time, and we made the joint. It wasn't like pressure. It was like, I'm going to hold down the hood.
Yeah, being loyal to your guys.
Yeah, I'm going to hold down the hood. So that's what it was.
Yeah, loyalty is everything, Tone, here on the Punchline Academy.
Without a question, I agree. And you know, something I was looking at is your extensive resume. Nobody can dispute that you've been part of a lot of great music that's been put out there in the past 40 years. Craig G, like, I recently saw an article where artist from Pretty Ricky, Pleasure P, came out and said that he wrote part of the song Lollipop for Lil Wayne. And this is one of those songs that did astronomical numbers. You've been involved with a lot of producers and a lot of artists. Do you have a similar story where you've worked with an artist helping them write a song that went beyond and above your imagination?
Nah, but I've always gotten my credit. So now, I'm not a producer, but you know, when the Biggie One More Chance remix came out and they used the Dropping Science beat, everybody was like, oh, wow, that's crazy. I'm like, yo, but I didn't do the beat. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that just shows you that the Bad Boy Camp was a fan of Dropping Science when they did the remix to that. And then Mary J. Blige did Every Day It Rains, and they used Dropping Science. And that was kind of crazy. Yo, Mary, next time you perform in New York, I need to come out when you do that song and do a verse of Dropping Science. I've always thought about that. Like, you know, I went to a Tears for Fears show and they did Shout, but I'm not big enough to get backstage at one of those guys' shows. So, but, you know, I never really, I've done some ghostwriting, but I've gotten my credit for it. So it wasn't like, you know, because I was one of those people that knew early on publishing is very important. Very important.
Pays your bills long term.
Long term, it's residuals. So, you know, but honestly, I don't really believe that anybody helped Lil Wayne write a rhyme. Pretty Ricky, I think you're lying, my G.
It might have been the chorus part.
Okay, the chorus part maybe, but maybe Wayne was already home smoking a blunt. I don't know. But what I'm saying is like, I'm not a fan of all the newest, greatest new MCs, but Lil Wayne got bars. It don't really sound like he need help.
No, he rap.
Yeah, he rap. Yeah, he don't need help.
Especially Mixtape Wayne. Mixtape Wayne was crazy.
Yeah, he don't strike me as a guy that need help. But you know what? You could, I think some Wu members were talking about this. You could be bouncing lines around and a dude might give you a line and, you know, I got Dropping Science from the 5%ers. The phrase itself, my brother Powerful was a 5%er, so I used to hear that phrase all the time. I wasn't one, but I was like, this is a dope line to make a song out of.
Yeah, and one thing I've gathered from what you said is you've definitely made sure that, you know, all your business side things were in order because you made sure that no one ever took anything from you that didn't belong to them.
I am not a bad guy. I just want what's mine. And it's not on some tough guy stuff. It's like, we work for this. This is work. This is not, you know, like, people think that having a talent is like some sort of thing that you should not be reimbursed for or to be compensated for. And that's not the truth because it's still work. You know what I mean? And for me, it was just like I had to learn the hard way. Like I said earlier, I got $150 for my first song. I bought a pair of Bally's or something, I think. And I didn't realize that there was more to it than that. Now, in Pop Art Records' defense, that particular song, we did not get any sample clearance. We just did it. So I know why I didn't receive any extra funds for that song. But I was one of the first early dudes on a major label. I was on Atlantic in 1989 and wound up, though they didn't know how to promote music, the business side was official. Like the check was there when they said, or, you know, and that spoiled me at 16, 17 years old. And that's just how I move now. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, the Punchline Academy here on SiriusXM, Shade 45. My God, Craig G is here. Let's play a classic. And we back here on SiriusXM.